I noticed that this guy actually does have a bracket, which I'm very happy with.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, he does. He's got his own bracket, which is very, very cool. He comes to us in a rainbow every Friday. And he talks movies. He's the Culture Blaster. You know him from the Marina Times and his work across social media as the Culture Blaster. He's Michael Snyder.
Hey there, Michael.
Hey, hi, guys. You know, Mark's madness is like a fever. And there is no cure except continuing to choose your brackets. and honestly, I have a big question about March Madness. Maybe you guys can answer it. The name is spelled Krasuski, but it's pronounced Krzyzewski. What's up with that?
That's a perennial question. It really is.
Coach K, he should be Coach SH, and I don't get that at all.
All right.
Anyway, like many, I have been riveted and horrified by Vlad's attempt to heat up a new Cold War, otherwise known as Lying and Crying and Nukes, oh my. But, at the same time, we plow forward, and spring has sprung, and guess what? It's Oscar weekend. We'll get to that shortly.
Okay.
But you want to talk movies?
I do. That's really why you're here, and I'm delighted. I always love your musings that you always share with us before you get to the movies. But let's get to them now. Okay?
All right. Daniel Kwan and Daniel Scheinert. Daniel Scheinert. I'm so confused because these guys, a filmmaking duo, call themselves Daniels. So when they do a movie, it says directed by Daniels. That's right.
Wow. That's
the two of them, Scheinert and Kwan. Anyway,
have they directed a lot of stuff prior to this?
Not really, but the movie that really sticks out for me prior to the movie I'm going to get to is Swiss Army Man, which is with Daniel Radcliffe and Paul Dano. And I bring it up because it's kind of like Weekend at Bernie's for smart people. It's really a fascinating movie, Swiss Army Man, and it prepared me for the lunacy, the madness, and the wonderment of their new release, Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. It's kind of bold, outrageous, endlessly clever, funny as hell, and bringing an original take to a now familiar sci-fi conceit. I don't want to tell you what the conceit is because it kind of blows the movie a little bit, but Everything Everywhere All at Once is a kinetic adventure involving a Chinese-American family facing marital strife, business in trouble, generational conflict, and the most heinous villain facing most people in the U.S. at the moment, the IRS. I mean, oh my God, not the IRS. Anyway, the movie stars no less than the usually exquisite action heroine, Michelle Yeoh. That's right, Bond girl, Star Trek anti-heroine, Shang-Chi's auntie. She's playing Evelyn Wong here, a beleaguered woman trying to do her taxes. Meanwhile, the laundromat she and her husband own is in financial straits. Her marriage isn't doing much better, nor is her relationship with her infirm father going well. And furthermore, her daughter is trying to come out to her and her husband without much luck or response. So everything comes to a head when the family needs to meet with one of the nastiest IRS agents ever for an audit that appears to be doomed. And suddenly, Evelyn's world fractures inside out, upside down, and every which way. And again, saying more would do the movie a disservice. Yeoh is fantastic in all the varied shades of her performance. And are you ready for this? The cast also features Ke Huy Quan as Evelyn's whiny but earnest husband. This is the guy who was the pint-sized kid short round in Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, those many years ago.
Wow.
And now he's playing a middle-aged man married to a character played by Michelle Yeoh, Star Trek Empress, martial arts queen.
Man,
anyway,
how he's really done well.
He's actually married up, hasn't he? Short round.
That's what I'm saying.
And the queen of the universe. Right. Anyway, Stephanie Sue is the daughter, and the legendary James Hong plays grandfather. But
this is quite the movie.
The movie's almost stolen wholesale by Jamie Lee Curtis. She plays this monstrous IRS agent. Anyway, Everything Everywhere All at Once is one of my favorite movies of the year so far.
Wow.
It's in theaters.
It's in theaters. Okay, cool. Okay. What else do you have?
As much as I like some of the comedy efforts of Sandra Bullock and Channing Tatum, I mean, Tatum's recent film Dog was a blast, for instance. And as much as I enjoy a mix of rom-com and globe-trotting thrill ride, the actors' starry team up in The Lost City appears to be a bit on the chemistry challenged side. I never buy any romance between the characters. And this is like totally undermined by flat or obvious jokes, sketchy motivations, and cornball dialogue. In other words, I found the script to be muddled and the movie itself pretty sucky, and at almost 2 hours long, tedious to the point of when's it going to end? And the plot has so many holes in it that Dunkin' Donuts is demanding a percentage of the box office.
There you go, everybody. How about that? Now you sound like a movie critic.
The plot.
The plot had so many holes, it was like a Dunkin' Donuts.
The Lost City, directed and co-written by Adam Nee and Aaron Nee, brothers? I don't know. The Daniels aren't brothers, but I have no idea. Anyway, it follows a best-selling but nerdy and lonely author of romance novels and the dim-witted but hunky model who appears on the covers of her novels when the two of them are snatched up by a wealthy madman and brought against their will on an expedition to find a treasure in the lost city of the title for reasons not worth trying to explain or even divine. A slumming Daniel Radcliffe plays the loony zillionaire with a near unfathomable agenda. And there's a cameo, by the way, by a truly magnetic star who illuminates the screen far more than the two leads in the brief time he appears in scenes with them. My findings about The Lost City are that it will quickly be lost to the annals. Did I pronounce that right?
I was wondering if you were going to go for Lost or City. My findings about The Lost City, it will be lost in the... are we going to be... It's a city of stuff that doesn't work, is what I was saying. You could have gone that way
I'll tell you what was lost, 2 hours of my precious time. I'll just add that I much preferred The Lost City back in 1984 when it was titled Romancing the Stone.
Oh, my gosh, remember that one. Yeah.
It's really just a redo of that. All
well,
right,
not a good one. It's in theaters. Yeah. The upscale, tragedy-tinged 1920s period romance Mothering Sunday is very, very Downton Abbey masterpiece theater and should appeal to that crowd. But in deference to a classic deodorant soap ad, I liked it too. And no, it's not set in Ireland. It's set in England amid elegant countryside manners in post-World War I. And Mothering Sunday is adapted from Graham Swift's novel about the passion and pain of an upstairs-downstairs relationship between two very attractive people.
Brett always talks about it. He loves that novel.
Jane is intellectually curious. She's a housemaid for a well-to-do couple, and Paul is the brash son of a neighboring family. The lovers tryst on Mother's Day in 1924, and that's the linchpin of the story, while flashbacks and flashes forward give the romantic interlude context and reveal the workings of fate. It's directed by Eve Hewson and scripted by Alice Birch.
Does it feel like a James Ivory kind of Merchant Ivory thing?
Very much so. I could have brought that up as a touchstone besides Masterpiece Theater. Josh O'Connor plays Paul. Odessa Young is Jane. And an impressive supporting cast features Colin Firth, Olivia Colman, and Glenda Jackson. Mothering Sunday is in theaters.
You liked it.
I did. Let's wrap it up with Infinite Storm, a no-frills, gorgeously shot man versus nature movie that has simple storytelling goals and achieves them, albeit in very basic style. Let's call it a woman versus nature movie, since it stars Naomi Watts as Pam Bales, a one-gal search and rescue squad who covers the wilderness around Mount Washington in New Hampshire. Pam has her reasons for a solitary lifestyle, which become apparent after a while. One morning, she's out for a hike up in the mountains when she discovers a guy sitting by himself on a high ridge. He's alone and starting to freeze, and a storm is on the way, so Pam takes it upon herself to get him and herself back to safety. And there's not much more to it. As this sort of thing goes, it's got the requisite tense moments, well handled by director Malgorzata Shumovska.
Oh, yeah, that's exactly, I'm sure, how he says it.
And Watts is quite good throughout the movie, whether she's surviving in the wilderness or she's expressing her inner turmoil. Listen, talk about wilderness.
No romance between her and the guy she's rescuing?
Not really. You know, okay. that would spoil it. I suggest reading Jack London's The Call of the Wild if you really want wilderness survival. And speaking of wild, I kept hoping Reese Witherspoon would show up in a crossover of her own Woman Hikes Alone movie. Wild, but no. Brett, do you happen to have a question?
Yeah, I do. Is it based on a true story?
It is. It's based on the true story of
that?
Pam Bales.
Thanks, Fred.
She purportedly saved the guy in the manner depicted in Infinite Storm, which is in theaters.
How about that? So, Infinite Storm, Naomi Watts, Man versus Nature, Woman versus Nature, in theaters. Mothering Sunday, the British offering in theaters, with a lot of good stuff happening. The Lost City, Channing Tatum, Sandra Bullock, in theaters, but a lost plan in all of that. Everything, Everywhere, All at Once is the real winner today.
Yeah.
And that's in theaters as well. Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. You have any thoughts about the Oscars?
Ding, 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 ding. Up to Everything, Everywhere.
Oh, by the way, speaking of dings, you did use the word kinetic. I'd like a ding on that, please. Yeah,
Ouch.
thank you. Okay,
Zap.
go ahead.
Zap.
Go ahead.
Well, I don't know. I'm not a big fan of the idea of awards
It's
in the
absurd.
arts.
You can't compare movies. It's absurd.
Oranges and apples and stuff. And yet,
On the other hand,
this
yes.
is the big advertisement for the movie industry every year. And, I hear someone told me this earlier today. The In Memoriam sequence this year is going to feature the Oscars as well.
Come on, a little applause for that? No? Okay,
I want to thank my colleague Alex Bennett for that. My friend and colleague.
Alex.
In memoriam. Yes.
There we
it's
go.
So on. I can feel it already.
No, I mean,
Yes.
I don't get it. So you got Best Actor nominees, and you have Javier Bardem, who really, to me, is a good actor, but Being the Ricardos was not a great film, and the performance, as good as it was, the guy didn't make me think he was Desi Arnaz. And Nicole Kidman as Lucille Ball, they're great actors.
They're not really good. Neither one of them is going to walk away with anything.
No,
But
and
you look at Jessica Chastain as Tammy Faye.
Yeah, I bought her as Tammy Faye every second, and she's got brilliant prosthetic makeup that doesn't look like makeup.
I agree.
Although, of course, Tammy Faye Baker painted up like a clown most of the time.
How dare you?
I'm sorry. Anyway, I mean, I thought, again, apples and oranges.
You can't compare these pieces. It would be like comparing a Picasso to a Van Gogh. I mean, how do you compare it? I mean, the only way to really do it is to watch. If you had 5 actresses playing Tammy Faye, okay, then you could do it maybe. Okay.
Yeah, there'd be an awful lot of crying.
They'd have to have the same director and all the rest.
There'd be so much weeping and so much makeup, you wouldn't even know what to do.
On the other hand, it can be a fun evening, and it's fun to kind of speculate.
Remember Billy Crystal's intros? I always liked when they would insert him into books of the movies that were nominated for best. It's a wonderful night for Oscar. I enjoyed that.
Yeah. When does Michael's harp come back? Is it soon? Michael, we love you. We look for you in the Marina Times. Also at your outpost there on Polk Street with the Royal Grounds.
Yeah, the Royal Grounds. And you can also catch me at the Le Soleil, the Café du Soleil, with my writing partner, Mr. White.
How about you?
In the Hate. Hey.
Making deals and making a squeal. He comes and goes on a rainbow. Bye-bye, Culture Blaster, Michael Snyder.
See you, Michael.
Yeah.
See you guys.
Giants in action. He's a big Giants fan, too.